We're
Okay.
back with Larry McCray. The album is Heartbreak City. The song you just heard is called Hangman. Most of this album is pretty electric, but you got down to some acoustic tunes on that one. Um, did you grow up playing acoustic?
I um I really got serious about acoustic during the pandemic. Acoustic guitar is something that had always been in my life and around, and my big sis was really an acoustic player. But I've always loved it. I just never really tried to incorporate it into my show. But it's something that I really love doing now, and I try to keep one in my hand all the time.
You literally are holding one as we speak.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is an old Harmony model. This is a Harmony Sovereign, and it's out of the '60s. It's a 1960 model, the year I was born. But there's a great luthier here in Bay City. His name is Mike Grohowski. And Mike Grohowski took this guitar. He took it all loose. He took all of the bracing out, re-braced it, re-voiced it, and it just sounds great. It's an old guitar, but I love playing it.
All right, two 1960 models.
That's right. Okay. The song Hangman itself, actually, the idea came from Charlie Walmsley, my writing partner, my other writing partner. And once we come up with a premise, the sheriff shoots his pistol, junkie shoots his dope, judge pound the gavel, the hangman swings the rope. I thought that was a good time to interject, something about that subject, just like that we were speaking about earlier. How that in this country there's still racial tensions and inequities and things that as a people individually we can't change, but if we make an awareness about it, it's a possibility that things can always improve. And I thought that was a good chance to speak about that, and that's kind of how that song evolved.
Yeah, I love that song. Probably my favorite one on the album, just because
Really?
uh you have these two really powerful moments. The first one, when the man gets up and basically questions God in front of a church. What
Right.
happened to my son? That is really dialing up the pain.
It kind of makes you think a little bit, don't
Yeah,
it?
it's just such a raw act of grief. Um, and then when you have the man being pulled over later, and he essentially realizes he has no control over his fate. He can put his arms up,
Yeah.
he can do the right thing, but he knows that this is completely out of his hands.
You at the mercy. You at the mercy of the man of the situation, of that situation.
And
So
just just two moments where you hit on that raw nerve. Uh, Beautiful work.
I don't try to be, and I'm not a real political person, but sometimes you can say in a song what you can't find the words to say in conversation. And sometimes the song will take the sting out a little bit, and it takes it away from being such a direct application from an individual to it takes it to a thought in general, just as you were saying that about the church. The church is our sanctuary. And when we can't trust the church, who can you trust? And so it's just kind of making different little scenarios, different awarenesses of things that maybe we don't exactly pay attention or don't put our finger on, we don't identify.
Yeah, I feel like political, like that's such a strange word for all this. Like, um, there's there's only so political, there's only so non-political you can choose to be when the gun's pointed at you. It's like you're not going to say, well, I can see both sides of this situation.
It's not a very, you're not in a position to be too optimistic. You must comply when it's like that. When the heat is on you like that, the only thing you can do is comply and hope for lenience in a situation. Hope that a cat don't kill you or do something to you, you know.
Yeah, you've got got a lot of songs on this album that sort of suggest that you carry some of the weight of the world on your shoulders. Some songs more direct about it than others. Some songs making fun of peach and cherry pie, but all of it sort of suggests that the way the world is does weigh on you.
Well, I come from a real pro-religious background, and I was never I never had the faith to comply in the ways that I wasn't a good exemplary person by the book. So I had to, customize my own way of looking at things because there's so many things in religion. You see a lot of messed up things in religion. There's molestation in children. There's a lot of adultery in the church and all different kind of things. That a lot of, not saying that every church is corrupt or that every person that goes is corrupt, but I'm saying that those things there. So what it taught me is that I had to figure out my own identity and my own personal relationship with God. Nobody can get between you and your God. And if you really have faith and really believe in what that, then you find a way to show sincerity to that. So I don't try to impress people. I try to impress myself and be for real with myself and let myself know that I'm doing the best I can. I don't always succeed. I'm imperfect just like anybody else, but you have to have a goal in which you're trying to achieve, and that's your beacon, and that's what keeps you going and keep you moving in the direction that you think that you should do. We have to have something to keep us grounded and focus in the right direction.
Even
And
in
and
hard
for me,
times,
that's just
that's if you have a higher sense of purpose, if you have a mission and morals, it keeps you going instead of keeps you panicking.
right. And if we didn't have those moral compasses, think what kind of world it would be because
Oh, I
our
think it would
countries
look pretty
would just let
similar.
us do anything goes. I could shoot you or kill you. I wouldn't feel no remorse about it because I don't have no filters to say, hey, that's wrong. You know? And so I just try to be the best man that I can be. I try to be very real with myself. And when I fail and when I fall short, I don't make excuses. I don't make excuses for my wrong.
I think we need more people trying to be the best we can be. I look at the world and I wonder where everyone's moral compass has gone.
Right, right.
I mean, we're not necessarily at the point where everyone's going around and shooting each other, but it's it's just such a dark time. I don't see community the way I used to.
We went back over the last 15 years. We have took ourselves back 50 years. You know what I mean? I felt that one time in my life, it was 1978 before I really got the nerve to start mingling and integrating myself with musicians other than black musicians. Because, up until that time, up until 1978, in my life, in this area right here where I grew up in Michigan, in mid-Michigan, if they saw two or three black guys together with two or three white guys, they would for sure know that we was up to no good, whether we were or not. But that's just the mentality. That's the way that we were judged when we were young men, when we were teenagers. What y'all doing together? You got three black guys and three white guys together. Something wrong here. Somebody they up to something no good. And after that point, I got my nerves up and I was living in Saginaw, Michigan, about 13 miles from Bay City. And we started, Saginaw was a predominantly black town. Bay City was more of a white town. But we started coming to Bay City and I got introduced to some musicians over there and made friends, and it was over after that. My life was changed. I totally changed. And so, it was a good thing, but it was until 1978 before I ever had the nerve to leave my neighborhood and to reach out and to try to meet other people outside of what I knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I I feel like people don't appreciate just how much history is still alive in the way we treat each other today. People your age, and you're not that old. You're my dad's age. Like people your age
Hmm.
have really lived through it. Like conditions we only hear about in textbooks, and the
Yeah.
fact that you're now the fact that you've I find it so sad that people who have seen all the progress we made have to see it get rolled back right now. But I'm
You
hoping
feel that
that,
way too, that we going the
oh
wrong
yeah.
way?
I'm
Yeah,
hoping
me
that
too. I
before
do too.
I'm hoping that before the end of our lives we get to see things going back in the right direction, man.
Right. But you know what? I'm grateful for the fact that at some point or another in my life that there was an acknowledgement and that people were moving in the right direction. And it just proves that given a chance and to let them choose and do what they do, people don't have a problem with people. And I'm so happy that I don't live a segregated life anymore, and that I am able to talk to people outside of my own genre because it has enriched my life so much. I have learned so many things. If you only know what you're exposed to, that's all you know. But when you get a chance to meet and mingle and learn other people, learn other culture, that's what life is all about, the exchange of culture. So many people are afraid of what's different than themselves. And that's what is the root and where prejudices and biases stem from, being afraid of difference. It ain't really that they hate somebody else that bad, but hey, you different from me, so I gotta hate you because you're not the same as me. And it don't make any sense.
Yeah, I think the world would be awfully boring with nothing but yourself in it. And I
Right. I have learned, like I said, I have learned so many things just by meeting other people and getting a chance to travel and experience other cultures a little bit. It's been the greatest thing in my life to know that there is something different than what I was exposed to and what I was raised with. It's a whole big world out there.
Well, Larry McCray, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your optimism, and most of all, the music with us today. Uh, it's been
But
a pleasure, man.
you know what? I hope that the pleasure has been all mine, and I hope that the opportunity for music continues because music is the vehicle and a way to bring all different kind of people and cultures together. It's a focal point to start. You start there and then you can figure out the rest of it after, but at least it brings us together in a peaceful environment with good intentions. And I'm happy to be part of that. And I hope to